I actually can't believe that. I actually cannot believe we threw that away right at the end. Oh, what is wrong with this team? Seriously, man. I don't normally get stressed out, but fuck me, this team. Like, how did we? I don't know why I'm even surprised. Honest to God, I don't even. Oh, yeah, 100%. I agree. That was rough. That was rough. You know what? Even at 1-1, or sorry, heads all over the place watching that shit. Even at 1-0, I sort of said, you know what? We got out of jail. We seriously got out of jail with this one. 1-0. 1-0 was a poor result. Like, let's be fair, especially given how that game went. 1-0 was a poor result, but I thought, look, you got out of jail. But yeah, Arsenal. Oh, lads, Arsenal being Arsenal. It's literally never over until the final whistle with Arsenal, is it? We just cannot complete the job. What is the story? I'm actually in shock. Literally, I'm in shock. I don't even know what to say. I hadn't even really intended on going live. I'm going live. I'm going live on a different channel in about a half an hour. And yeah, I had kind of bits in my head that I was preparing to talk about, and a couple of notes made and stuff like that, reference points. And Jesus, like that, yeah, that's flipped everything now I was thinking, because now everything I looked at, I was like, okay, maybe that was a bit of a positive. Trying to find some positives from a pretty bad performance overall. But yeah, now I have to fucking rethink everything now. Everything that went on now in that 94 minutes or whatever it was. Oh, I actually cannot believe we bottled that. I cannot believe it. Yeah, that's exactly how I'm feeling. Oh, you know what? I don't know anymore. I really don't know anymore. I've been a supporter, I really have, as best I can be, but I'm not going to lie, it's getting tougher. It is getting tougher. It's starting to take its toll on me. I'm starting to question things that I hadn't questioned before. But I will say, though, what I always do say, I still think it is largely down to the players. The players just aren't good enough. And look, they just keep proving it time and time again. They're just not good enough. As I said, even getting out of that with a 1-0 win tonight, it would have just papered over the cracks a little bit, because 1-0, no disrespect to Slavia, but I didn't see anything out of Slavia tonight that should have caused us any concern. And I know they were missing players and whatever else, but I started looking at that game saying, you know what, this team should be easy pickings here. We made very, very hard work of that. Yeah, it's just pure Arsenal, isn't it? It's Arsenal's biggest enemy is themselves. Like, they're just fucking useless. Yeah, it's going to be very hard to justify keeping them in the job, I suppose. And it's a bit of a funny one as well, because I don't think most people were really even expecting that we're going to win the Europa League, but I just think we're probably expected to get past Slavia Prague. And again, no disrespect to Slavia Prague, like, domestically they're unstoppable. And they've beaten Rangers, they've beaten Leicester, so like, they are capable. But what I saw from Slavia tonight, that game should have been dead and buried. That should have been like the last time we played them at the Emirates. We beat them 7-0 back in the Champions League days. On another night, that it could have been one of those games, but it's pure Arsenal. We just don't take our chances. It's not good enough. It is. It fucking is. Oh, lads. I'm actually in shock. Can't believe it. Especially scoring so late on in the game and thinking, you know what, we just about got out of this one. But yeah, and the worst is as well. Okay, we have to go play Slavia at home, and Slavia surely can only perform better because, to be fair, Slavia were poor tonight. Now we were poor, but we were the team that was trying. But Slavia, Jesus, Slavia were pretty bad. So I'm gonna presume Slavia can only improve in the second leg. They haven't lost at home in any competition this season. So Europa League, in the Czech League, they haven't been beaten by anybody at home. So now not only do we have to go there, needing to get something, we have to get something out of the game because they have the away goal. So Arsenal of all teams now have to be the first team to go and beat this side. Beat them for the first time at home all season. Like, oh yeah, I'm not confident. Yeah, I'd have made him resign after the Olympiacos defeat. I guess in hindsight, looking at things now, yeah, I think it would have been a little bit harsh back then. Look, I honestly think, regardless of what happens with Arteta, where we end up finishing between now and the end of the season in the league, if we get knocked out of the Europa League, there's going to be a lot of pressure. There's going to be plenty of fan pressure. I do think, though, worst case, we're going to be stuck with Arteta till at least maybe coming towards January next season, depending on how we're getting on. So no matter what way you wanted to go, I think he's here for the foreseeable. The manager, the players, he knows what they're doing. They don't want to address it. Yeah, well, look, in fairness, I think the first 80 minutes kind of proved he got the selection wrong. Yeah, we were largely in control, but you could see the difference when he brought on all the substitutes. Martinelli, even Aubameyang. Aubameyang, I have to say, was impressive when he came on. Pepe, definitely, yeah, the lineup was definitely wrong. I think that was proved in the final. I know what happened in the end, but I definitely think had he started with a few of those players, maybe it would have been different. Yeah, exactly. There's no way Slavia are going to be that poor in the second leg, and they're going to be at home. And as I said, they haven't lost at home against anybody this season. So, and I think that they would have looked at Arsenal tonight, and yeah, as I see there, Slavia without 3 key players, and they're going to look at that and say, well, you know what, Arsenal threw everything they had at us tonight, and we still got out of that game with a draw. So, why not? We haven't been beaten at home all season by anybody. We have players coming back. Yeah, look, Slavia are going to fancy it. They were able to knock Rangers out. They were able to knock Leicester out. Why not? Why not? I know we got the goal, but the changes again, yeah, too little, too late. Yeah, again, I know we were all calling for Martinelli, and I'm not saying Martinelli made a difference or anything tonight, but yeah, look, you have to give these guys enough time to come on and change it. If those substitutes have been made even 10 minutes earlier, because you need a couple of minutes to get into a game when you first come on. So yeah, definitely a bit too little, too late. Yeah, man, I'm really, really disappointed. Really disappointed. I'm thinking in my head now, what the hell am I going to say when I go on? Give a shout out to Red Cannon. Big shout out to Scott. I will be recording with Scott about 10:30. But yeah, I've got to rethink everything now. Everything I had planned on saying. Every bit of positive I was taking from the game. Now suddenly I'm looking at it and go, you know what? It wasn't enough. Everything you tried to be upbeat about yeah, it's just it's not enough now, is it? Um, this is exactly why all along I've been saying Arsenal's best route into Europe next season is definitely through the Europa League, because this is the problem. Our league form, we can't sustain the form to, put back-to-back wins together, put a run of wins together, get a run of results. We win one game, we'll draw or lose the next, and we're dropping points left, right, and centre. The Europa League, as I've said loads of times, you at least get 2 bites at it. You make a mess of the first leg, which we did tonight. Technically, you can still go through. We can still pull it out of the bag, but I don't know, man. I'm losing confidence. I'm losing confidence. And again, as I keep saying, look, no disrespect to Slavia, but when I even looked at the lineups, not that I know, I'm not claiming to know an awful lot. I only know, I think, as much as most about Slavia, and I know they obviously possess a threat, and I know how good they are domestically. I know about a few of the key players, Stanchu and Sima and players like that. But I was aware that they were missing key players, and I know we were resting players or keeping players on the bench. But I still thought, we'll have enough about us here tonight. We'll get something out of this. But Jesus, lads, like Arsenal, fuck's sake, yeah. I don't even know. I don't know where to go from here now with this. What do we do? Where do we go from here? Your Europa Conference. Yeah. Wouldn't even win that. Oh, jeez. Very, very disappointed. And if I'm being completely honest, as I've said, I would have been relieved had we won it 1-0 in the end. Yeah, I was relieved that Pepe got that goal, but and of course I'd have been happy that we'd won. But still, it would have been, to me, a disappointing result. Only the one goal, given how the game went. Given how that game went, a 1-0 would have been disappointing. But hey, if you offered it to me now, I'd be taking it. But no, we did. That was the thing. We did have chances. And it's just the thing with Arsenal. We always have chances. Apart from that Liverpool game, we always have chances. We just can't take them. Like that Lacazette chance. Easy to say now. Had we got Martinelli on the pitch at that stage, and the ball had fallen to him, I'd have felt a hell of a lot different than I felt when Lacazette picked up that ball. And I tweeted, after, I said, look, maybe I'm being harsh, but did anybody else feel that Lacazette was never going to go on and finish that chance? Because I had absolutely no confidence in Lacazette finishing that. To be completely honest, he surprised me that he managed to actually, outpace the player and get a shot off and goal, because he looked like he had cement on his feet. Like that guy, I know he was never the quickest, but he's really lost pace. Really, really has lost pace. And I think that was key for us tonight, because you could see we were getting in behind the fullbacks the whole time. Like we were exploiting their fullbacks, the extra bit of pace. And I'd love to think, had the changes been made a lot earlier, again, not having a dig at Willian or anything like that. Look, he wasn't great by any means, but he wasn't awful. A couple of misplaced passes here and there, whatever. But kind of getting used to it, Willian, a little bit, But had we someone on the wing with a bit of pace early in the game, Pepe, Martinelli, somebody, I think we really could have done damage. We seen the damage Saka was doing in the first half, especially. But everything was down the right-hand side. We seem to have nothing going down the left-hand side. And again, I'm not having to dig at Willian. Look, we know he doesn't have the pace. It's not his style. But maybe had we added a bit of pace to the opposite side, we could have caused problems. And we saw what happened when we did do that late in the game. We had Martinelli one side, you had Pepe on the other, and then you at least had a runner in Aubameyang, and it was causing carnage. Just too little, too late. And this is the problem with Arsenal. We get our foot in the door and we think, right, job done. That's it. We got our goal. That's it. Job done. We're finished here. So yeah, we can let them play a bit. And look what happens. This is Arsenal all over. We think the job is done when it's only half done. I don't know where we go with this now. That was depressing. Slavia celebrating like they won a trophy. And to be fair, right, I can completely understand why Slavia would, because, as I said, look, I think had it been the other way around, if it had been us scoring that late on and kind of, salvaging the tie away from home, we'd have done the same, let's be fair. And I think as well, they have in the back of their minds, look, they're obviously, I know we're Arsenal, but they're still massive, massive underdogs. So for them to be fair, like they were outplayed tonight. Arsenal did outplay them. So yeah, they've definitely every right to be happy that they got something from that game. Because like I said, they can only be better in the second leg. Whether we can be much better, I'm not overly confident. The last 10, 12 minutes, it gives me a bit of confidence that if we get the selection right next time and we have our attitude, our mentality is right, maybe, we can be a bit better. But definitely Slavia have players to come in. And as I've said a few times, they haven't lost at home all season against anybody, any competition. So yeah, you can understand why they're celebrating as if they've already gone through, because in their minds they're probably saying, this team isn't beating us. Like they threw everything at us and they couldn't finish us. We still have better players to come back, and we're bringing them back to our fortress at home, and we have an away goal. So yeah, like they're laughing right now, and understandably so. And the difference is, whatever you want to say about the Czech league and whatever else, these guys are serial winners. I think they're 37 games unbeaten. They know how to not lose games. They know how to win. They have a different mentality. Okay, on paper, and this is the big problem I always have with Arsenal, everything is on paper. On paper, we've better players, and on paper, we've better side. Problem is, on paper, we might have more talent, but in reality, I don't think we have the winning mentality that, these, you could say, lesser talented sides have. And that can make a huge difference, because, look, talent is only going to get you so far. You have to have the drive and that winning mentality to push it over the line as well. And we saw that tonight. Our talent got us into the lead, and their winner's mentality got them back into the game. And that's the difference. We don't have that. And yeah, look, it just keeps coming back down to the same thing, like lack of leadership, lack of organisation. And look, yeah, in hindsight, you can look back and say, look, had you David Luiz, had you Kieran Tierney, you have organisers on the pitch. I'm still not confident that we would have held on to that, because this is just a story of this squad. We were missing this for the longest time. I'm always saying this, like, that doesn't happen with a Patrick Vieira with the captain's armband. That doesn't happen with a Tony Adams. That doesn't happen with a Martin Keown, a Sol Campbell. You're not allowed to switch off like that with those guys. Just the whole mentality is just so wrong. Yeah, come on, there's 90 minutes left. How do we not close up for 5 minutes? Yeah. Look, it's one of those right now, isn't it? Like, it almost feels like a defeat. And yeah, there is still another game to go. It's not over by any means. We only need to score one goal. A 1-0 win will put us through. It's just the whole, this team, time and time again, me especially, I expect so much of them. I really do. I expect so much of them. And it always seems to be when I put my neck out on the line and I say, do you know what? I fancy us to get something here tonight. I'm just a bloody jinx. I'm just I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna stop with predictions. I really am. I'm starting to think it's just me. So maybe not Arteta out. Maybe Anthony out. Maybe that solved the problems. Oh, lads, it's shocking. We haven't replaced goals in midfield and wide areas. People used to mock Walcott. And you know what? I even said this the other day. Joe Willock pops up with a goal. And I said, look, Joe Willock, I don't believe is Arsenal's answer to goals from midfield. But he is exactly what we're missing. Aaron Ramsey was never replaced. And Joe Willock, whether you rate him or not, and whether you believe he has a future at Arsenal or not, he's different to what we have. Again, I don't think there's better options. There is better options. He's Europa League or something. Yeah, he's fine. As you've seen, he scored goals now. But look, he at least offers something that nobody else in the team offers. We've nobody else in the side that has that sort of natural ability to pop up in the box and score a goal the way Joe Willock does. And again, I'm not saying, look, bring Joe Willock back next season. I'm saying someone kind of in the mold of that, like a better version. We definitely need something like that. Rich, big up, Rich. How on earth we not see it the last 5 minutes against them? Yeah, but look, same story all over. Same against Burnley early in the season. The Aubameyang on goal, like we were well on top the whole game, and it looked as though we just got to the stage where we said, well, look, 0-0, we're not scoring here tonight. We'll just shut up shop and we'll hold it. And then of course we saw what happened. We end up conceding, and again from a corner. And the frustrating thing is, we have a set piece coach. Like we have a specific set piece coach that's supposed to come in and it's meant to stop these things happening. And I know for the most part it seems to be working, but then it's so frustrating. Like it's just whatever. We seem to have this thing that the first couple of minutes of a game, we don't start well. Straight after half time and just before the end of the game. And these are the most important times to be the most fired up and the most switched on, especially when you have a lead. I just can't understand. Like, we were in control for, you could say, 90 minutes of that game. We were completely dominant, completely in control. Look, one or two little half moments where you could say maybe they may have had a little opportunity here or there. Nothing major, but I just can't understand how we can outplay for 90 minutes and then allow them to play for about 4 minutes of stoppage time, and then we see what happens. And look, where that's coming from, I don't know. Is it the manager? Is the manager, not sending them out with the right mentality? Are the instructions from the sideline not right? I don't know. Is it the players on the pitch? Combination of everything, I'd imagine. It's very, very frustrating. Yeah, exactly. Like, what are Arsenal doing in training? The players, especially the manager, need to be questioned about the display. Better players, and we're playing worse. Arteta and these players are not a good combination. Yeah. Honest to God, I actually don't know. I really don't know. Like, where do we go from here? Because, as I said, I've sort of said all along, I've been leaning more towards the players not being good enough, and I've tried as best I can defend the manager. But yeah, look, at what point do you have to sort of say, yeah, the players, look, clearly the players aren't good enough, clearly. But look, yeah, maybe the manager's not good enough either. The part that frustrates me about that, see, like in training, like what they're doing in training, and when you hear about players in training, and this guy's playing this week because he was really good in training and he did this and did that. I'm always cautious when I hear stuff like that, because I always remember who they're training against, and I sort of go, yeah, okay, this guy's justifying his place in the team, or this is why he's playing, because he trains really well and he's always gives 100% training and he impresses. And then they kind of go, yeah, but he's still training against these players that aren't good enough. You know what I mean? So he might be shining in training and making an impression, but let's not forget who they're training with. You know what I mean? So yeah. Ceballos, Partey, El Neni, and Xhaka don't score enough goals. Willock, our only midfielder, gets in the box. Exactly. Yeah, you know, I'm at the stage where like you look at those players and you know that there's 0 goals there. Like I would be more inclined to look at the youth team and say, right, well, look, who have we got that's popping up in midfield who's scoring goals in the youth team? Bring them into the side. You know, take one of those players out there. Like, you know, what does we sort of okay? We know what Xhaka gives us. We know what El Neni gives us. El Neni is the guy you bring on to, you know, okay, didn't quite work out tonight, but he's the guy you bring on to shut up shop for the last 10, 15 minutes. Partey, yeah, that's a different conversation altogether. Danny Ceballos, you know, last season I didn't know what he really offered us, so this season I definitely don't. But yeah, I'd be inclined to just take one of those guys out. Just give the spot to, you know, if you have a young goal scoring midfielder, just give him a shot. Give him a shot. You know you're not getting goals out of those guys anyway, so what harm's it going to do? You know you're getting mistakes out of them. You got plenty of errors out of Partey tonight. We've got errors out of Xhaka in the past. We've got errors out of Danny Ceballos. El Neni, you don't really get any errors because he's quite safe, but then, you know, you're lacking creativity and whatever else. So why not bring a youth player up? Why not? Last few matches make me really angry. Players down tools, they don't believe or give a shit. Yeah, you know, this whole season has made me pretty angry. It's the same story, isn't it? Who's the leader? Nobody. No urgency. Been happening for years. The attitude stinks at Arsenal. Yeah, 100%. It's gone that way a long time, unfortunately, and it just doesn't seem to be showing any signs of improving. And the part you worry about is, you know, it'll rub off on other players coming through. You know, players will pick up bad habits. You know, I guess this is the worst part about if you are introducing players from the youth team and this is what they're learning, this is what they're watching. Like if you think back at, you know, Cesc Fabregas was a decent captain for us, and he was a hungry, young, fiery player. He was learning from Patrick Vieira. He was learning from Gilberto, players like that. You know, you're bringing a midfielder up from the youth team, and who's he learning from? He's learning from Granit Xhaka, and he's learning from, you know, looking at Thomas Partey tonight. I don't think I'd want a young player learning from those guys. And again, look, I'm not saying Xhaka did anything wrong tonight, but we know about the errors and the bad habits and whatever. But yeah, this is it. Like, this doesn't happen with Rafa Benitez. You never know. He might get a shot next season. We'll see. 1-0 win. We haven't got the clean sheet for 14 games. Yeah, it's absolutely shocking. It really is. Really, really poor. We're breaking all the wrong records. Can they not think, kick the ball to the stand, make substitution, waste time, feign injury? Yeah, this is where David Luiz is very good. He's very good at time wasting at the end of a game. You know, when it's a bit nervy, it's in around the box. David Luiz is a master just falling down. He's really, really good at it. And in fairness, Xhaka's pretty good at it as well. But yeah, this is where you have, and again, I don't really like saying this because I'd be the first person to kind of complain about like a commentator or something saying, you know, like a guy he's clever about, you know, winning a free kick, or cute as they call it when Harry Kane does it. But yeah, this is where I've seen it out of David Luiz a few times. You're holding on to something, and yeah, he's the man that he's going to go down and waste a couple of seconds even, which is vital. Saliba, Guendouzi, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Dean not ready, but by Arteta, but seem to be performing for their respective managers. Yeah, that's it. That is it exactly. It's very, very frustrating. It really is, and like I said, it's getting harder. It's getting harder to defend Arteta. It really is. And I don't like to say it, because, like I said, I've been saying all along that he's gonna need time, and we do have to have patience and things like that. But yeah, no, I can understand it. It is tough. You can only give so much time. You can only have so much patience. You can only justify the errors somebody makes so many times. Same with the players. Yeah, look, I still think though I've kind of accepted, regardless, no matter what way my mind is in regard Arteta, I'm always going to be a little bit kind of understanding of what he has to work with, and I'm always going to be a bit understanding of the fact that he is going to make mistakes. He's going to continue to make mistakes because he is still learning. And I know people are going to say, well, he's in the job a year and a half, whatever. But look, you could be learning in the job for 5 years. You know what I mean? It's not like he's been at other clubs and he's ironed out the mistakes. Look at Mourinho. Mourinho's a very experienced coach, and he still makes the same man management errors. It could be just bad traits that Arteta has. Maybe we're just seeing them really, really early days, but definitely plenty of things for him to work on and learn. And unfortunately, he's learning at our club where we expect these things not to happen. But yeah, I have accepted that Arteta, I think he's gonna be here till at least, I would say, in around Christmas time next year, at least. Like I think the club have sort of, I think they have it set in their minds that this is gonna be for a while. I think David Ornstein actually said it when we were on our bad run of form and we went 7 games without losing, or 7 games without winning. I don't think we've gone 7 games without losing, but 7 games without winning. I think Ornstein actually said that, from speaking to people within the club, they had said that the only thing that was going to put Arteta's job at risk was a real threat of relegation. And that's when people were joking that, we're relegation candidates and that. But he said the only thing that was actually going to cost him his job was actual threat of relegation. So look, we know he's here for the foreseeable. And yeah, look, I guess we'd be fair. We'd give him the summer transfer window, and then it cuts out all the if, buts, and maybes. Okay, you get rid of him now, and then you never know what he could have done. Had he got a bit of backing in the summer, had he got the players he wanted, I think it's only fair. Look, we might as well. We started the project. I think we just have to complete it, and it could be frustrating, and we could look back at it and say, yeah, it was a bad idea, but look, I think we started something now. Let's just see it through to the end. You make a good point about the youngsters. They picked up bad habits from Ozil and Aubameyang, who they idolise. Yeah, that's it. That's the problem, isn't it? That's what you learn from. Yeah, Van Persie and that came through. Who did he have in front of him? Thierry Henry, guys like that, and then look at the winning mindset a guy like that had. Whether you love him or hate him, I can probably guess what most people feel about him. But while he played for us, there was no denying he was a great player, and he was a winner. Which, as hurtful as it is to say, guys like Alexis Sanchez, guys like Van Persie, they left because they are winners and because they were brought up around winners. They were brought up with winning attitude, winning mentality. This is the problem now. We don't have that. We don't have enough winners in around the team. We don't have the leaders, the captains, and yeah, it's one of those. You get molded by your surroundings and your environment, and I think this is what's happened for maybe the last 15 years at Arsenal. The standard hasn't been there, so the standard hasn't improved because we haven't really pushed to change the standard. We got far too comfortable, and the whole club completely stagnated. And that's why we are as we are. We're progressively getting worse. And yeah, look, we got lucky with a couple of players coming through. Saka, Smith Rowe, and that. But even look at Saka and Smith Rowe. As much as don't get me wrong, I love these kids, absolutely love them, and I'm hoping these guys can be absolute world beaters. But would those guys, as high as we as we think of them, and as much as we love them, would they get into, the likes of the team that, a young Fabregas and a young Van Persie was breaking into? Would those guys get into those? Would they come into contention for sides like that? Like, the standard was very, very different. Like, I think it's easier to walk into this team. Again, I'm not shooting these lads down. They look like they've all the talent in the world. But yeah, it's a hell of a lot easier to walk into this Arsenal team nowadays and look a good player than it was a couple of years ago. And I think that's part of the problem as well. The standard just isn't as high, and it hasn't been high for a long, long time. Arteta gave Aubameyang holding new contract. He re-signed Ceballos, yeah. He was back to get Mari, Cedric, Gabriel, Partey, Willian, Odegaard. He turned down money for Bellerin and Maitland-Niles. Yeah, and again, look, I think part of it, it's naivety on the part of Arteta and Edu, because I think it's just maybe as a new manager, he came in and he had a squad of players there, and he sort of said, well, look, this is what I know. Like, from day one, this is what I know. And he seems to have this thing, people call it favourites. I think he more so, instead of having favourites, I think he has players that he feels safe with and he trusts. And I don't know, I think it's just that's what happened with a few of these guys. Like, Aubameyang was supposed to be a safe signing, because look, he carried us last season. So on paper, that was supposed to be a safe signing. You're guaranteeing yourself, 25 goals this season. Now, obviously that didn't happen, but I think at the time that was supposed to be the idea. So that was supposed to be a safe signing. Again, Rob Holding, again, not the best defender in the world, but I think a relatively safe squad player. Danny Ceballos, again, could have been a safe signing because, okay, he didn't overly impress, but he forced his way into Arteta's team the latter part of last season. And again, I think it was an easy deal to do. So he did it. I think Cedric, Mari, Gabriel, Willian as well. I think Edu had a big part to play in those ones. Again, I think it was these guys were sort of available. Raul as well with some of them. But yeah, a few very, very questionable decisions. Big shout out to Farhan. Farhan, do you know what? I'm killing time at the moment. I'm waiting. I'm supposed to be appearing on Scott's channel on the Red Cannon. It was supposed to be at 10:30, and I'm just waiting on a message to come through. It could come through literally any second, and as soon as it comes through, I'm gonna have to hop off. But yeah, I may only be about maybe 15 minutes. I had a lot to say. Well, I know I have rambled on. I've rambled on. I'm rambling nearly 40 minutes on it. I don't know if I've made one valid point yet, but believe me, I sense that frustration. But yeah, look, I may come back again. Come back again. So yeah, maybe look, I'll see if I'm not too burnt out after talking to Scott. Definitely, we'll come back on, because there's so much. There's so much needs to be said, and I know you'll have a much better way of articulating it better than I can. Because my thing is, I just sit here and go, oh God, can't believe it. But he thinks the best things in sliced bread. Think about the City have improved since he left. You know what? I know a lot of City fans, and a lot of City fans were really worried when Arteta was coming to Arsenal. And I know a few City fans in particular said to me, you know what? Arteta is the kind of main man at City. That, like, he's the guy in the training ground, he's the guy giving the instructions. And then you hear all these things about, players like Sterling that coming out saying, he made these adjustments to my game and whatever. I think we all got really overexcited about it. But look, City are City. They're always going to be okay. A guy walks out the door, whether it's a player, a manager, a coach, whoever, they're always going to be okay. They'll always be able to replace. They have the resources to do it. And if they don't get it right the first time, they probably get it right the second time. They have enough money to throw at the project to fix the problem. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether it could be just a case of maybe players, Guardiola as well. Maybe look, they were just backing up their friend, and they're saying to everybody, you know what? No, this guy is going to be great, because I mean, you're not gonna say one of your colleagues who's taking a really big job. You're gonna say, oh, I don't think he's going to be ready for it. So I don't know. Maybe that was that. Yeah, thoughts on Martinelli. I was so happy to see him come on. I was concerned, was it going to be enough time? Was it going to be enough time to make an impact? And I honestly thought he'd start. You know what is killing me? Arsenal's media team, that puts up all the posts on Twitter or on the website, and that they keep feeding us these things that gets us thinking, and then they give us something totally different. Now, I know they're obviously absolutely nothing to do with Arteta, but it just seems like it's almost like they feed off of what we're all saying as fans and what we're asking for. And I seen the media team earlier posted a picture of Martinelli, and then that got me thinking Martinelli's definitely starting tonight. And of course, Martinelli's on the bench, and I fell for it again, as I fall for it every single time. We all call for something, Pepe in the team, whatever. And what will they do? The media team will show us Pepe scoring screamers in training. They do it time and time again. Like, I'm actually going to block them from Twitter, because I can't do it anymore. They keep on feeding us this stuff, and then it just constantly getting our hopes up. Hey, big up, Sam. How the fuck's Martinelli supposed to have an impact when he only ever gets 15 minutes? Exactly. Sorry about this. I was getting dry here. I'll be giving out on the yeah, that's what I said. I even put up, it's Gabby time. I was like 20 minutes to go. Or when I put it up, it was 20 minutes to go. When he got on, he was, about 17 minutes maybe. And I thought that as well, because look, we all know, anyone who's played football, you need your first couple of minutes to get into the game. It take you at least 5 minutes to get into a game. Get your legs kind of, get warmed up on that. Get into the pace of the game. You've got to figure out, who you're up against. The tempo. It takes a good 5-10 minutes. So, yeah, look, I can't understand, like, when managers are dependent on someone to make an impact, you have to give them adequate time to make the impact. Like, what are you expecting them to do? Especially as an ex-professional himself, Arteta. You think he'd have that in his mind. Players need time. They need a couple of minutes to get in and get acclimatized. Chambers, I'm not too sure. I think, did Martin Keown say something about Chambers being injured, but I don't know whether he was asking, was he injured, or I was going to do a predicted lineup earlier, and I actually thought Chambers might get a nod, but I didn't hear anything about Chambers being injured. I don't know. Look, again, I know Bellerin gets a hard time. I'm not really blaming Bellerin for anything there tonight. He was okay, like everyone else. They were all okay. Yeah, Arteta's a good coach for the finished product, not to develop like Bielsa. Yeah, and look, that's kind of something I've been saying for a while. Better players, yeah, we probably see complete different results. Unfortunately, yeah, the project that Arsenal are trying to sell to us, it doesn't really. I don't know. I'm starting to really question: does it allow for, an inexperienced coach to come in and take over a pretty poor side? What are we expecting to get, really? Like, how are we expecting, a first-time coach who's going to come in and make mistakes and make errors and piss us off time and time again? How is he going to come in and take over this squad? Who, look, we all know, hand on heart, this squad's not good enough. Okay, we might be good enough. Again, a term I always use, on paper, but not a term I like, because, yeah, on paper, this Arsenal team should be a hell of a lot better, but the reality is very different to what we see on paper. So, yeah, possibly, look, another coach comes in, possibly gets a little bit more out of them. I still do think, though, with the core of the squad, eventually we will see it kind of come down a level again. So I still think, regardless, okay, look, replace the manager in the morning, whatever, you might get a little bit extra out of them. But I still think, look, the majority need to be replaced regardless. Like, put a new man in, that's fine. But I still think, yeah, you have to replace a lot of those players as well. Anyway, lads, look, I've been venting for long enough, so I do appreciate everyone who stuck with me here, listening to me giving out. I might come back on the while. I did promise I'd be over on the Red Cannon now in the next couple of minutes, so I better just shoot off. So yeah, look, cheers for watching, and look, we'll hopefully have a couple of shows during the week, and we'll reflect on this disappointing performance. So look, cheers for watching.